Hi Lindsay. It's Friday, October 15th. It is about 45 degrees in my apartment, which is why the blanket is on top of me. And I don't want to be stuck anywhere outside of bundled up for very long, but to do a video completely bundled up would be constricting. I have another small confession to make. It's not quite as interesting as wanting to be British or, being in love with serial killers. Completely platonically, of course. And I really don't think that you're going to consider it a big deal. But it's something that I find kind of interesting. I'm not exactly what you would call an avid reader. I don't read all the time, and I don't plow my way through books horrendously quickly. I'm honestly really too busy to read too much. But I do like reading, and I've certainly read more books than the average person. I mean, come on, I've read about 300 Nancy Drew books. I bet a lot of people didn't even know there were 300 Nancy Drew books. But for someone who's read several, probably 1,000 books in their life, I realized something recently. I've never completed a book that was written for someone over the age of teenagery. I mean, I've started reading books that were written for adults, but for the most part that was always for school, not really for me. I did get most of the way through Wicked, and then I stopped reading it, and I got distracted and disinterested, and I never went back to it, so I should probably finish that one. That can be my first. No, that's a lie. I have another book in mind to be my first. But for the most part, I've only ever really read YA books, which is young adult fiction. I don't really know why this is, it's just sort of something that I've done, but I think it's because I'm bored by adult books. I'm always afraid to call them adult books because I feel like that has this porn connotation to it. I feel like young adult books are just more interesting. They're not afraid to be fanciful or take risks and really lead you on these interesting adventures. Whereas, I'll call them grown-up books, seem like they kind of are. They seem a lot more rigid in what they talk about. Even the science fiction books, which you would think are, no-holds-barred adventure, cool, interesting stories. I suppose I have read one adult book, but it was Heatwave by Richard Castle, and I feel like that doesn't count, because the only reason I read it was because it was written by a fictional character in a television show that I really, really love, and it's not like it was very long or very difficult to read. But I have decided to break this pattern, and after I finish the second Nikki Heat book by Richard Castle, which I still don't think counts, I'm going to read Timeline by Michael Crichton. I picked this book because I was watching the movie the other day, and I realized I really do like the movie, and the book has to be better. Apparently it's really, really good if you can get past the first 50 pages. Fingers crossed. Well, that's all I really wanted to talk about today. I do have something I want to talk about next week, but I'm going to save that for my next video. Tomorrow begins my week from hell, volunteering at the film festival as well as doing all of my regular stuff, so this will be an interesting one. I'll see you on Monday.